Okay, so tonight I'm out in the Samaya Inspire 2. It's a single skin tent for Samaya, and that's what they specialise in. Tonight is going to be a real challenge for the tent, and it's all about tent testing to see what these tents can do. The weather forecast tonight is a weather warning in place for heavy rain pretty much all night and gusts of up to 40 miles per hour. So that will be a really good challenge for this tent, especially as it is only a 3-season tent. So I'll talk you through a little bit about pitching the tent. I mean, obviously it was dark, but I mean, I set the tent out. I got the poles actually organised first, just in case the rain came on a bit heavier, just keeping the tent as dry as possible for as long as possible. Then I kind of staked it out. I use different pegs than what actually come with the Samaya tents. I like to sort of keep a lot of my pegs good, and I just use one set of pegs for nearly all my tents. But anyway, the ground here wasn't great, and I had sort of 9-inch pegs and 6-inch pegs, and had to sort of swap those around a little bit. But anyway, I got the tent secured, threaded the poles through the pole sleeves, which actually I managed very, very easily, and then just popped the tent up and just guided out, and really, really straightforward. It's only the second time I've ever pitched the tent, and I did it at night with a head torch, although obviously I did have plenty of light, but it was very easy. And before I go any further, and just in case I forget, Samaya are actually going to give you guys a 30% off this tent if you're interested, and I'll put the code for that just in the actual description of the video. So that's a really, really, really good discount on this tent if you're interested and you think it'll suit your type of camping. Okay, so the plan tonight is obviously to sleep in the tent under the conditions, and in the morning report back and let you know my sort of thoughts on how the tent has actually performed. But in the meantime, let's just go over some of the things that I think set Samaya tents apart from other tents. Obviously there's the single skin thing, and that's just it just means that the tent can be lighter and it takes up less space, but there obviously can be a bit more of a challenge regarding condensation. Now, this main body of this tent is made out of Samaya's proprietary product. It's called our membrane. It's called NanoVent, and basically it's twice as breathable as anything else on the market. I have never had condensation issues with any of my Samaya tents or any of the Samaya tents that I've tested, but tonight obviously we're going to try and push that to new limits. But some of the other things that set the Samaya tents apart would actually be the attention to detail and the actual build quality. And the build quality, it's not the be-all and end-all in respect of tent, because there's a lot of other features and benefits of different features, but the build quality on the Samaya tents is definitely the best that I've come across. It is better than all the other brands that I have tested, and so really is the attention to detail. And the tent just feels a little bit special. All the stitching and all the likes of the taping here, and even on the likes of the pockets, you've got a little rim of the same colour of the tent, and that's the same just in the actual gear loft. It just really has a lot of attention to detail, and if that's the sort of thing that you like, then this is definitely the tent for you. In regards to pockets, you have a nice pocket here at either end of the tent, and the same up here. So for quite a small tent, you've actually 4 really decent sized pockets, and they're very, very convenient. And then you also have the actual gear loft, and there's enough height actually in the tent that the gear loft actually works pretty well. As long as the items in it aren't too heavy, you'll not sort of hit your head on the top of it as you're moving around the tent. The pole structure of the tent gives you a pretty vertical end, and then there's a crossing pole point here, which obviously I have set up into the wind, and it's well guided, and I think that that's pretty strong. And on either side, I've got 2 really good vestibules, and then because this is a 3-season tent, I've just got mesh doors, which are a little bit drafty for winter conditions, but for the summer, I mean, they absolutely work perfect. So I'm not going to ramble on. This is more about a test of the tent. The conditions haven't really ramped up yet, so we'll hopefully get that later on and not have to wait too long. So it's now 2:45 in the morning, and I just sort of would give you a little bit of an update. So it is really, really windy outside, and this is just giving you an idea of how the tent's doing, and it's holding its structure really, really well. It's lashing rain, and I will just open the mesh door here and stick the camera out a little bit just to give you an idea of just how windy it is. And in regards to any water ingress or dampness, there is absolutely nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Okay, so it's pretty mad outside at the moment. It is lashing rain, but I'm going to stick my Gore-Tex on and go out, get a little bit of filming, hopefully try and measure the wind speed and just double check and secure the tent. The tent is doing very, very well, but maybe if I tweak some of the guidelines up, it'll maybe do even better. And so far, this is a really, really windy night. I've given this tent a bit of a hammer on both its last two tests, and I feel quite relaxed. Okay, so a little trip outside the tent there, and the highest wind speed I could measure was 27.2. It's not lashing rain, but it's just not the sort of night to be standing outside the tent trying to get wind speeds. My prediction is it's definitely up to about 30, maybe with gusts of about 35. And you can see here, the tent is very, very comfortable, and I have every confidence in it. I'm going to go now and try and get some more sleep, and I can be totally relaxed knowing that the tent is completely fine. And then we'll talk you through my sort of, I suppose, final thoughts and sum up then in the morning. Alright, so good morning. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Before I go on to talk about the tent, a couple of other quick points. Two previous videos that you might be interested in. One is obviously on this tent, and the other one is, it's not for this headlamp. The headlamp it is for, it's a Nitecore NU43, and I've done a free giveaway, so it's one of my most recent videos there. If you look back, have a look at the video and follow the instructions there if you want to be put into that prize draw. You actually might as well. And then up and coming videos, Nitecore are sending me another headlamp. I really like their headlamps, so look out for that one. And I'll be doing a further video on this tent, because the conditions at the moment are not really conditions for me to show you much around the tent. And also I'll be further doing a review on the tarp tent, Arc Dome Ultra. Alright, so the Samaya Inspire 2 last night, I have a lot of confidence in this tent, and it's managed these conditions absolutely no problem at all, and I had quite a relaxing night's sleep because I had a lot of faith in the tent. So in respect of moisture management, there just is nothing. It's as simple as that. The tent is absolutely bone dry. Some of the other features that I like in the tent, just very briefly, I really do like the full-size pocket along the bottom and the pocket here on the top, and that's at both ends. I like the pole crossing structure at the sides. It gives you good height to sit up in. I'm not going to demonstrate that, I think I previously have, but I'm 6'1" and have plenty of height. And then I like the gear loft here, so the storage in the tent is really good. Ventilation, obviously, with a full mesh door is fantastic. A couple of small points. Not really negatives, but these tents are quite small, and for me, one person, 6'1", luxury, tons of space. But for two people, I think it'd just be tight enough. But then they're designed as minimal shelters. And the zip on the door here, very easy to use from this position. But it's only a one-way zip, and you can't ventilate the tent from the top. Excuse the camera shaking around there, the wind's just blowing the outer of the tent just against the camera. So that's just the only little small points. There's plenty of ventilation from the bottom, and I cooked in the tent last night with everything closed because the wind was giving me enough ventilation. So that's really about it. Thank you very much for watching. A couple of reviews coming up soon, and until the next time.